Emilio, the honey badger, Urrutia!
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Honey Badger Hour. What's going on, y'all? We are back with our UFC 305 reaction. We're only about 3 days late, but what can you say? What can you do? Oh my God. From top to bottom, guys, super stacked card, exciting nights of fights. We had fight of the night. We had submissions. We had knockouts. We had exciting fights. We had everything you wanted. I called it. I said this was going to be a great card. I got a lot of shit from people. They were like, oh, great card. What are you talking about? Well, what I mean was by that, guys, that I knew a lot of people on the card, so I was already very excited about it. I had a lot of friends fighting on the card, and I was excited to see it. First fight of the night, unbelievable. Shout out to Carlos Pratas, the Nightmare, coming at, once again, 3 UFC victories, 3 KOs, guys. We got a star in the making. There's a new Brazilian star in the house, and his name is Carlos Pratas. This guy is knocking people out, and he's looking damn good doing it and smoking cigs at the press conference. There's nothing more you can ask for from a UFC contender like that. So what do you guys think? Who is next at the 175-pound division for Carlos Pratas? Who do you think is a good matchup? I like Wonder Boy. I like Vicente Luque. All right, that's a dope matchup. I like Gilbert Burns. Ooh, is Gilbert Burns a good fight? Who is available to fight Carlos Pratas now? I think Gilbert Burns is fighting soon, and Shavkat is fighting soon. So, man, a few more big wins at welterweight. A little bit harder than other divisions. There's a lot of good guys at welterweight, so Carlos is going to definitely have to earn it, all right? He's going to have to beat some good wrestlers, but, man, nobody's ever knocked out the Leech. Nobody's ever made the Leech look that bad. Khamzat Chimaev ran through the Leech, but he ran through the Leech at a different, he submitted him, right? He didn't even try to strand with him. Carlos took all his best shots, fired back, took him out. I want to say second round KO. Beautiful KO. I'm surprised it wasn't a head kick or a knee, but the punches got through. So shout out to Carlos Pratas. Enjoy your post-fight sig, and I absolutely cannot wait to see who is next. Still early in the UFC career, right? UFC debut this year. So definitely a guy. I don't know. What do you think his projection is? I would say, what's Carlos's projection right now to become a world champion, right? I want to say, 2-3 more fights, another couple finishes, and he can be right up there, all right? We got a champion like Bilal Muhammad in the upskirts, okay? In a division that looks like it might be ran by Shavkat for a long, long time. So I hope Carlos has been wrestling and grappling, because you got to know, if you want to win that UFC title, you're going to have the likes of Shavkat to look ahead of, So it's a tough division still. A lot of great fighters. I would like to see him mix it up. Pardon me. Fuck. A lot of great fighters coming up in the game. I definitely want to see I want to see him go up against a good wrestler, maybe like a Geoff Neal Magny. So, man, Rafael Dos Anjos. A lot of big fights for Carlos Pratas right now. It's only going to be big things that come in. More bonuses, more KOs for one of the UFC's most dynamic knockout artists up to date in a long time. In our second fight of the night, we had Jairzinho Rozenstruik take out Tai Tuivasa. He did it, man. He did he did his thing. Unfortunately, now I thought Tai, in Australia, training hard. I thought he would try to turn it around, but he's on a 5-fight losing streak right now. So exciting to see. That's a tough one. I didn't think he would go for 5 in a row, but he had a tall order. Rozenstruik looked good, man. He was calm on his feet. He was picking them apart. He was breathing. His cardio looked good. So big win by Rozenstruik. Excited to see what's next for Tai Tuivasa, a fan favorite, one of my favorite fighters, one of the best personalities in the UFC, but unfortunately, just has not been able to put together a win in a long time. So, unfortunate for that one. On our third fight of the night, we had fight of the night, round of the night. What a brawl. Does it get nastier than Dan the Hangman Hooker? Is there a more vicious killer in the lightweight division. A more determined and focused animal than Dan the Hangman Hooker. Are you kidding me? Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Hooker defeats Mateus Gamrot in an absolute war of attrition. This was a battle royale. Dan Hooker went toe-to-toe for 3 rounds, went toe-to-toe with Mateus Gamrot. Guys, I had a feeling that guillotine was going to come in handy. Bro, Dan Hooker has a nasty guillotine. He finished Mark Diakese with it. He's finished a lot of people with this guillotine. In training, he's caught me with it before. He's got a vicious guillotine. Dan is one of those strikers that he is so good at that guillotine that you got to be really, really watch your P's and Q's when you shoot on him, because the man knows how to go for it. So Dan Hooker grinds out Mateus Gamrot, smiling, had that epic in the middle of the round. I love this shit. Man, as good as it gets. Big ups to my man, the Hangman Hooker. One of my favorite podcast episodes that we ever had to date. If you haven't yet, make sure to check out the Honey Badger Hour podcast with Dan Hooker. It's a really big banger. Okay, guys. Dan Hooker on his way up right now. They're talking about a potential matchup with Charles Oliveira. That's a crazy, crazy fight. That is a crazy fight. And this is a new Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker with tattoos, ladies and gentlemen, is currently undefeated. All right. He re-broke his arm when he fought after Jalen Turner. He broke his arm, catching a kick on the forearm. Okay. He hurt it. Then he had to take some time off. Then when he was going to fight again, he hurt his arm again. He broke his arm in training and had to take a little bit of a break. So, you know, I learned a lot from Dan. I've learned a lot from watching him. I've learned a lot from him training with him and him coaching me for a long time and being alongside him overseas. So this is a guy that I'm always gunning for. I'm always rooting for. I love how the UFC, man, you're only as good as your last loss. You know, a couple years ago, people were writing Dan off, man. I remember just a couple years ago, bro, not even too long ago, oh, that's my boy. But even when I had him on the pod, people were kind of doubting him. He got a huge win over Jalen Turner, huge win over Mateus Gamrot, made him freak wrestle, okay? Dan Hooker, man, you know what's crazy? The one takedown that he got hit on, he really could have defended that. If he would have just pushed the head down and threw his hips back. But he was so comfortable just elbowing him, you know, elbow, bam, bam, bam. Just every second that Dan was in that fight, he was inching forward, looking to take Gamrot out. And Gamrot was looking good, man. He cut him with a nice overhand right. Boom! Cut his eye open. Stumbled him for a sec. But Dan is just a man on a mission, determined to get the job done. He walked him down round after round, hurt him multiple times, put him in a bunch of guillotines that kind of slowed down his takedown attempts from the guillotines. So just what an impressive all-out effort from my man, the Hangman. Big ups to Hooker. Big ups to City Kickboxing for an amazing win. All right, I'm looking forward to seeing what's next. If Charles Oliveira versus Dan Hooker gets signed, that's got Fight of the Year written all over it. And I'm calling Dan Hooker second round KO. Let's go. The boys are back. Woo! That was crazy. In our co-main event, in a potential title eliminator for 125 pounds, the Don't Blink Kid, Kai Kara France, knocks out Steve Ercik in the first round. How many flyweights, guys? Let me ask you a question. How many flyweights are out there knocking people out in the first round? Okay? Kai is a rare breed. He's a 1 in a million, and he's a real special fighter. So I've been seeing this kid knock people out since 2013, guys. He's been head kicking guys. I fought on the same card with him in Pro FC in Bangkok. We fought on the same card in China. Me and Kai were in there in the sticks in the middle of China, in Nanjing, China, fighting in a cold-ass arena, fighting the hometown guys. We both took L's that night, you know? Like, me and that guy have been from the bottom to the top. So amazing, and it's so heartwarming to see him do his thing. Nobody deserves it more. He's always working. This guy is always in the gym. He's always getting after it. He's doing everything he can to be the number one in the world. He's a family man now. He's got 2 kids. He's got a wife, so... Woo! Actually, the last time I saw Kai, no, I saw him. Damn, what was the last time I saw her? I want to say the last time I saw Kai Kara was when I went to New Zealand to go watch him and Dan Hooker and Brad Riddell fight. So, Kai Kara France knocks. And you know what's crazy? The guy Muhammad Makov just got released from the UFC for being boring and fighting with this guy Manel Cape. Now Kai Kara sleeps Steve Ercik. Steve Ercik is no joke, guys. This guy is a legit, well-rounded gun. You know, just fought for the title in a very close fight. Some people thought he won his last fight against Alexander Pantoja. Kai Kara goes in there and knocks him out in the first round. Done and dusted. Yeah. Se acabó la dinero, papá. He was out. Boom. Took him out. Had him wobbly. Dropped him. I thought it was going to be a walk-off KO. Thank God, because he made that mistake before of knocking the guy out and putting his hands up, and then it's not over. So, but you know, guy, he loves a walk-off KO. That's his favorite thing to do in the world. So, he's always looking for it. He's always looking to knock you out. He's always looking to take you guys out. Always looking to take out his opponent. So, big ups to Kai Kara France. What is next for Kai Kara? I say we give that man a title shot, right? Right away. Who's next? Who else can we give Kai Kara France? I say we give him the title shot. Put him against Alexander Pantoja. He's never fought him. He only has a loss against Moreno, so these guys are going to have to run it back. Give Kai Kara his due. He's the next flyweight champion of the world. It's just a matter of time until the seeds fall into place. So, Kai Kara France with the beautiful second round KO. I mean, nobody does it better. First round KO, excuse me. Nobody does it better. The way he stepped over, boom, bam, put my man out. And definitive victory in front of his hometown crowd. So, shout out to Kai Kara France, looking like it will be a future potential 125-pound title contender once again. Now, in our main event, folks, oh, what a fight. What a fight in this main event. We had the return of Israel, the style bender, Adesanya, taking on Dricus du Plessis, the current 185-pound middleweight champion. He just took out Sean Strickland in a 5-round war. Takes his talents to Australia to take on the former champion, the fucking former GOAT of the division. Takes on Israel Adesanya, and this was a crazy fight, guys. First round, very close, man. Listen, let me tell you something. Dricus is no joke, bro. Dricus is the real deal, man. Dricus was able to stay in there in the pocket, never changed pace, never took a step back. This guy didn't take a step back, and Israel was punishing him. Israel was hitting that body, working the body, knees, kicks, low kicks. Was great takedown defense. We had a little bit of trouble in one of the rounds. He got taken down, but he was able to get back up. Defended the rear naked choke in the second round. Got back out. The third round was all Izzy. I thought Izzy was trying to style on him. He looked focused, man. He was locked in. But Dricus du Plessis, nothing to take away from him. This guy is a champion through in and throughout. Did everything he could to take out Izzy. All right, like, man, this guy did not stop marching forward. He did not stop going forward. Switch kicks, right high kicks, and he kept throwing that threatening with the switch kick. Bomb, switch kick, bomb, switch kick, bomb. And you know what it is when you're a guy like Dricus and you're fighting in a fighter like Izzy. The problem with that, guys, is that this is why it's so important to be well-rounded, because Dricus really only had to worry about one thing when he was fighting Israel Adesanya. He only had to worry really about the strikes and the knockout power of Israel Adesanya, right? Where when Izzy is fighting Dricus, he's got to worry about the wrestling, he's got to worry about the strikes, and he's going to have to worry about the jiu-jitsu of Dricus du Plessis. So that's the thing, guys. This is the good and bad of being a specialist fighter, right? When you're a specialist fighter, once the fight is in your zone, it's game over. It's over, pops. You're going to get the job done. But when you are a specialist and you are not being able to fight in your specialty of the realm, that's when you can get exposed, right? So it's like if you're fighting a guy who's only good at wrestling, all right, I just got to stop this guy from taking me down, and you're going to be able to nice and relax, and you're going to be able to do your thing on the feet. So this is what I think happened with Izzy, man. When he fought Dricus, he had to worry about Izzy's wrestling. He had to worry about Dricus' wrestling. He had to worry about Dricus' switch kicks. He had to worry about Dricus' hands. And I think he got stumbled a little bit, with one of the punches, boom, fell over, and then Dricus jumped on him right away. And let me tell you, bro, the killer instinct on Dricus is no joke. Dricus had him down, jumped on him right away. Fourth round, you would have thought that he was exhausted from all those body shots. I mean, he was taking a shellacking, guys. I mean, Dricus really got beat up for 2 rounds. I don't know. I want to say, I'm very biased. That's the thing, guys. A lot of times when I root for these guys, if I know these guys and I train with these guys, I mean, I'm gonna always have my heart with them. I don't want to put no bad juju out there anyway, so I'm always gonna put my energy out there for my boys to win. But man, I really thought Izzy had it. Tough fight, tough fight. What's next for Izzy, guys? What's next for Dricus? What's next for Izzy now? There's not gonna be no rematch. It was a definitive ending, right? Dricus took Izzy down and submitted him, tapped him out very fast when he got through the ground. So now, what is next for Israel Adesanya? What is next for Dricus du Plessis? Well, the good news is, guys, Dana White already said it. Dana White is going to be lining up Dricus du Plessis with Sean Strickland for the rematch, all right? Listen, guys, when I saw the fight of Sean Strickland versus du Plessis, when I watched the fight the first time, I thought that Dricus won, right? He took him down. He was throwing. And the only reason why it's the same thing with this fight against Izzy, man. Guys, all the fighters talk about Izzy about, he's not, I'm sorry. All the shit that people talk about Drake is that he's not clean, that he looks weird or whatever. He looks stiff. Listen, man, this guy kicks, punches, and wrestles his ass off. When you're fighting Dricus, he's going to kick you, he's going to punch you, he's going to try and take you down. And what makes him so dangerous? You don't know which one of it it is. I think the way to beat Dricus, you got to put him on his back. I think you expose him. You put that guy on his back, he's a big, strong guy. I wouldn't recommend. I bet you he doesn't have the best guard. I'll be surprised, But, man, Dricus du Plessis taking on Sean Strickland. I rewatched that fight. Now, here's the catch. When I rewatched that fight, Sean Strickland was piecing him up. Sean Strickland says that he was piecing him up, and he wasn't lying. When I rewatched that fight, Sean Strickland was eating him alive with that jab, checking every kick. He was in the Matrix for real. Like, he says it before. I heard him say that recently, and listen, my dog wasn't lying. He looked good. He looked sharp. He looked on it. Now, when he fought, the thing is, he said that he got headbutted and he got cut open. Now, when he got cut, that's when I really thought that Dricus took over. So they say Dricus won 3 and 4, and that Sean won 1, 2, and 5, which is kind of true. But considering how good Sean did with one eye, if that doesn't happen again, I'm excited for a rematch. But guys, you know this, man. Man, these rematches, it's very hard to beat somebody twice. Or sometimes when a guy beats you the first time, it's crazy, right? Because we've had a lot of rematches recently. And I wonder what the stats would be on rematches, right? Because, all right, is Dricus beat Strickland, right? He beat him the first time on a rematch. Leon Edwards, right? He fought Usman twice on the rematch. Leon still beat him. On the first fight, Leon was getting beat up a little bit by Usman. He got that crazy knockout. Then in the second fight, made all these adjustments and then lost. Still beat Usman, even though we thought that Usman was going to be we thought Usman was going to be the favorite because besides just getting rocked. But, man, it's crazy, guys. Something happens once you beat a guy. Once you beat a guy and you have that inside you. Now, my theory on rematches is always hey, the guy who loses always knows what to fix. The guy who wins has got to figure out how to win twice, right? So I always say it's easier to prepare for a rematch of that you lost rather than when you won, right? Because when you won, you're like, all right, I'm going to try and do the same thing. But the problem is when you try and do the same thing, your opponent's probably going to try and do everything different, right? So you're like, damn, you got to prepare for a completely different opponent, but also be really good at the things you're already really good at. So it's a tough one, guys. Who else is? But there was another rematch recently that we saw, right, with a great champion. Volkanovski had the rematch with Makachev, but that was short notice. So that one was a little bit, we don't know, right? Anyways, guys, Dricus du Plessis is taking on Sean Strickland next. We got Khamzat Chimaev, all right, taking on a UFC 308. We got a UFC 308. We got Khamzat Chimaev taking on Robert Whittaker, which is going to be a huge fight. And it's kind of crazy, guys. We haven't seen Khamzat in a while, and him against Whittaker is going to tell us a lot. We're going to be able to tell a lot through that. But we might be looking at a new future champ a few years down the line because he's still young, I think. I'm not sure how much wear and tear he has on his body, but he's still young. He's still tough, so we're going to keep our eyes peeled for that one, guys. But Robert Whittaker, then we have, so the middleweight division is looking nice right now, right? Middleweight division is looking tough. What do you guys think is next for Israel Adesanya now? It's a tough one, right? If Sean Strickland loses, you know what's good about the next fight? If Sean Strickland loses, he can fight Izzy for a number 1 contender fight. Or if du Plessis wins, if Plessis loses, I don't know if he has a finish over Adesanya, so I don't know if he warrants a rematch. But a Strickland off of a loss with a rematch on Izzy could be a great fight that we want to see. I don't know who else you guys would think. What would be a good fight for Israel Adesanya to make his rise back to the top? Leave a comment below, guys, right here. Bam, bam. And hey, don't forget, listen, I'm out here making these videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe, all right? Leave a comment below. Tell me who you guys think is going to fight next. Who Izzy should fight next? What do you guys think should be? But that's going to be a tough one, right? Robert Whittaker, a loss. Ooh, maybe a Robert Whittaker trilogy fight might do also. But I don't like trilogies, guys. I never think you should fight somebody 3 times. So, anyways, that's going to be a stat card. Next UFC, we got... next UFC, what is it? We got UFC 306 in the Sphere. This card is pretty caca, guys. I'm telling you right now. I saw the card. We got Diego Lopez taking on Brian Ortega once again. This is a fight that I was really excited about, so I want to see that one go down. We got Valentina Shevchenko, Alexa Grasso, 3. Alexa Grasso submitted her, had that crazy submission at the end of the 5th round of their first fight. Had a really close decision win on the second fight. They're going to run that back. They just finished doing the Ultimate Fighter. Shout out to my dog, Martin Gill, for doing the Ultimate Fighter with them. I can't wait for that. So it was great to see him on the Ultimate Fighter working with Valentina and the team, helping them get better. So we got Valentina Shevchenko taking on Alexis Grasso in the co-main event. And then in the main event, we got a huge one. We got Merab Dvalishvili. We got the Merab taking on the 135-pound king, Sugar Sean O'Malley. I'm a huge fan of Sugar Sean O'Malley. I'm all in on the Sugar Show. I love his podcast. I love his coach. I like both their podcasts. He's really funny. I've been following him for a long time. He's very smart. He's locked in. He's been doing all the right things. People think he's like this weird stoner, but the guy is just really smart. He's a really good technical fighter, and he gets it. Like, the guy gets it. He knows how to fight. He knows how to train. He knows how to prepare. And he really knows how to lock his body in. So, yeah, I always feel like we've always been like on the same mental tip. Like, I'm always reading similar books that he's reading. He's really into Marcus Aurelius. He's been doing a lot of like meditations, which is another one that I've been really into for a while now. For the last 4 or 5 years, I've been looking at Marcus Aurelius meditations, and it's been really helping me lock in. Like I came across those YouTube channels. I remember like during the pandemic, I was listening to like a lot of Marcus Aurelius. If you guys are having a rough morning or something like that, throw on some Marcus Aurelius. That shit will get you going, all right? A cup of Cuban coffee, a joint, and Marcus Aurelius, and you'll be off to the races. Ready to take over Westchester, Papa. You feel me? Marcus Aurelius. You get the Marcus Aurelius Meditations book. Put that YouTube channel on, make some Cuban coffee, smoke a joint, and go smash a day. I'm telling you right now, guys. You'll be fired up, ready to go. Merab, just saw her today, guys. When we're dropping this, Merab posted a video of his stitches. What an idiot. Like, I don't know what the, he's like really smart. Like, you gotta be good to be that, you gotta have some type of intelligence to be that good, right? Because he's a martyr. He's a machine. A lot of guys are saying that he's like the next champ, 100% guaranteed. But, man, why would you post a video of your eye? Like, either two things. You're either trying to hedge your bets. So maybe he's having a bad training camp and he's trying to hedge his bets if he loses, like he has an excuse. Or are you trying to get pulled from this fight? Like, do you want the commission to see it and check it out? Or, like, if you pull out later on, you want to, like, show people, oh, it's because of this cut. You guys already saw it and I started training again because, man, why would you even show that to your opponent? Sorry, guys. Like, yo, why would you even show that to your opponent, right? Why are you going to show your opponent that you got a cut on the eye so he can just aim for that eye with elbows and straight left hands and right hands and teeps to the face, right? So, I was listening to the Sugar Show podcast the other day, and he was talking about how Merab, like, stepped up to a fighter and, like, some guy was saying, like, some guy was talking shit to him at the CGI, and this guy tried to, like, jump the fence. It's kind of funny. He's like, yo, you can't just be rolling up on fans talking shit to you, bro. Like, you are a professional athlete, bro. Like, you're in the UFC. You got to deal with these fans, right? Like, I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm a fighter, and if I'm famous and somebody's talking shit to me, like, what are you going to do, bro? Like, you can't kind of stoop down to those guys' level. Like, oh, this guy has never fought before. Bro, that guy is never going to fight. That guy's a clown. What are you going to do? Punch a clown? Like, who's dumber for punching a clown? You or the clown, right? He's just doing what he does. That guy is never going to probably amount to anything. He thought it was hilarious to talk shit to you. And you fucking went in there and bit the freaking bait, bro. So, relax, dog. You got to dry yen, like my coach says in Thailand. Dry yen yen. That means chill in Thai. For those of you who know what's up. If you know, you know, like the Jew says. Anyways, guys, UFC 306 is going to be dope. I forgot what UFC 307 is, but UFC 308 is announced. Max Holloway is taking on Ilia Topuria. That's going to be a crazy fight, guys. Ilia Topuria is coming in more confident than ever. And listen, I'll tell you what, the best matchup for him right now is going to be a striker. He's a young, hungry knockout artist. He just fucking stopped Volkanovski, so that guy is going to be riding on cloud nine going into this next title fight. Now, was it the same Volkanovski? Was it a compensated Volkanovski? 1,000%. What kind of Max Holloway is he going to get? Max Holloway, here's the thing, guys. Max Holloway just went up to 155 pounds. I don't like the going up and going down in weight. I don't like Max Holloway going on to 55, gaining a bunch of weight like he said he did, and I don't like him now dropping a bunch of weight to 45. You know, that guy's getting a little bit older, and I think, guys, at some of these big knockouts, they come from the big weight cuts. That's what always freaks me out in the sport, you know, like especially once you get a little bit older. I don't know why when you're younger you can take better punches. It's obviously because you're younger and you've taken less damage, but there's something about the age and the weight cut and knockouts that there's got to be some type of correlation. That's why I think in your older age, you got to go up in weight to fight safer. You know, that's my personal opinion, but I could be wrong. This could be just straight bro science. You know what I'm saying? So, but Alex Volkanovski right now, what's next for Alexander Volkanovski? I heard that they're talking Justin Gaethje. That'll be a great fight. Both fighters coming off of KO losses, and that'll be a super exciting fight. I don't think Volk should take another fight besides a title shot, if you ask me. So I think he waits for the winner of Max Holloway versus Ilia Topuria and keeps on resting, and then goes and takes on the winner of that with the proper amount of time, with a good year away from the game, you know, and you become everybody's favorite fighter in the last year. So let them really miss you. Let them feel your presence with your absence. It's one of my favorite quotes, right? So let them understand what they're missing when you're going to be. Let them feel you're missing now, and how when they're going to want to see the Volk, everybody's going to want to see Volk back at it. And you come back when the time is right. Comes back and takes on the winner of Max Holloway versus Ilia Topuria. Man, I got to relook at that fight, guys. I'm not going to lie. I never looked at Ilia Topuria. I thought it was just going to be another mark on Alex Volkanovski's feather. And then after he beat Volkanovski, I started doing a little bit more research into it, looking into him, right? He's beat some good guys, bro. This guy's pretty legit. And he did get jumped up pretty quick. Like, he didn't fight like a lot of like the thickness of the division before getting there. I mean, it's crazy that he made it that far without fighting a Yair Rodriguez, you know, Max Holloway, Brian Ortega, Calvin Kattar. I mean, how do you dodge all these guys? That's the thing, right? Like, he beat the champion when the time was right, but he also dodged a lot of bullets, right? Oh, another good fight I saw on that card. That guy, another potential featherweight. So, if Volkanovski's not ready for the winner of Ilia Topuria versus Max Holloway, you got Movsar Evloev taking on Aljamain Sterling. Bro, if Aljamain Sterling beats Movsar and he also just beat Calvin Kattar, he could be setting himself up with a number one contender match soon at the featherweight division. Or I would love a Volkanovski-Aljamain Sterling fight. That would be a great fight, too. I think that would be a great matchup for Volkanovski. You get a grappler, well, not to the heaviest hands. I don't think Aljo's ever knocked anybody out. And then Volk can really show his footwork and his movement. That would be a great fight. That's a good fight, you know, for the future, too. So, man, a lot of exciting fights coming up. The UFC is better than ever right now, guys. I cannot wait. Let me know in the comments below. Who do you think is going to win, Max Holloway or Ilia Topuria? And who would favor I know Volk's already beat Max Holloway 3 times, and I would like to see him get the rematch with Ilia Topuria. But for Volk to fight Ilia Topuria got to beat Max Holloway, and that's going to be kind of crazy, right? We'll see how that works, guys. But anyways, we got a lot of great episodes coming up for you guys. I got a real banger next week dropping, all right? Next Tuesday, 9 a.m., be ready. It's already sealed, finished it. Took a little bit of time to edit this one up, but we got a real banger, so stay tuned, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe on the little notification bell below, all right? Let me know if there's anything you want me to talk about, if there's any topics you guys want me to hit. And like I said, I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. You can catch us at Honey Badger Hour across all social media fields. And I will see you guys on the flip side. Peace, love, and party on, baby.